On December 5th, OpenAI released the full version of o1, the model they launched that has built-in reasoning that first came out in preview mode of September of this year. Well, we have the full version this December. But not only that, we have something called ChatGPT Pro, which is a 10x increase on the cost of ChatGPT Plus, taking us from $20 a month to $200 a month. Of course, this subscription is optional. You still have the $20 a month subscription, which is the Plus. What exactly is the Pro? Why pay the $200 a month? How good is it? Well, this video is geared to give you all of those answers. I've studied and broken down a ton of content that OpenAI has released on this, watched the top videos on this topic, and in my AI integrations company, First Movers, we've invested in the $200 a month ChatGPT Pro subscription. My CAIO, Alex, spends most of his weekends and all the working hours he can to test every new image, text, video, multimodal AI generation tool that releases. So of course, one of the first things we did when ChatGPT Pro came out was to invest in it. And we've actually used it to rebuild some of our best bots, making them even better. But is it worth the price? What's the hype all about? And lastly, big question. Does this bring us closer to AGI? And if by your definition, AGI is here already, well, does it bring us closer to ASI? I'm going to break down what the top experts are saying and what you should know. And hey, if we haven't met, I'm Julie McCoy. I sold a human writing agency to enter the AI age. I've spent the last decade building profitable businesses, and I'm approaching AI from a realist, but also techno-optimist perspective. I believe we are entering the greatest age of opportunity humanity has ever lived in, not just for completely transforming work productivity as we know it, which is something I'm obsessed about as someone that loves helping business owners get more profitable and efficient, but also I believe that what's coming will touch and enhance our well-being and our quality of life, our ability to get back to a human being. All right, so let's jump into a full breakdown of o1 and ChatGPT Pro. So there's a lot of hype about what ChatGPT Pro can and can't do. Some are saying it's not at all worth the cost. And I think that those conversations are coming from a lack of understanding about what is inside ChatGPT Pro as well as how to apply it. o1 and ChatGPT Pro could be the most advanced GPT model we've had since GPT-2. Here's a clip from Sarnik over on X featuring commentary from an expert involved in AI benchmarking. Listen to what he says.
I do believe that o1 is truly the biggest improvement in generalization power we've seen in a commercial model going all the way back to GPT-2. This idea of being able to do test time search, where they're allowing the model to not just generate one chain of thought, but multiple and search over them, do backtracking, allows these models to more sort of fully kind of navigate the situation space around the prompt that the user was given. Now, I think there's a debate of well, is it AGI? And I would claim no. I think there's one thing that's really missing from it that conceptually limits it from reaching AGI, at least by this definition, the way I just shared, which is it's still operating over the pre-training distribution that it was fundamentally trained on. And, the way they did this was they went and generated lots of synthetic change of thought over, formal domains like math and code and programming and things like that. There was likely informal pre-training as well, things maybe like goal to sub-goal breakdown that got sort of scored by humans. They used that signal as a reward signal for the pre-train. But you're still fundamentally limited by what data got put into the pre-train here. And I think in order to at least conceptually relax the constraints on your architecture sufficiently, you both need some form of test time search, like what o1 is doing, like what a lot of the top scores on Enterprise are doing. And you need the ability to incorporate information from test time back into your model and carry it forward, right? You need the ability to sort of make contact with reality and learn from it. instead of having to learn from it sort of every single time.
Did you catch that he said the two precursors to AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, a level of AI that can be deployed autonomously and function as well, if not better than a human? Well, the precursors are test time compute and the ability to incorporate that information back into the model. OpenAI released on their YouTube channel a pretty detailed 15-minute breakdown of o1, the full model, and ChatGPT Pro. I'm going to share one of the top clips from that video. Most importantly, notice that Sam says the power of this new model is for scientists, engineers, and coders. Here's the clip.
So we've put a lot of work into this, and for scientists, engineers, coders, we think they will really love this new model.
But ChatGPT Pro isn't just for scientists, coders, and programmers. The full picture is that the o1 model with reasoning, we now have the full version, not just the preview launched in September. o1 is the smartest model in the world, but the Pro is a little bit smarter. That means ChatGPT Pro is currently the smartest model in the world. And just that little extra bit can be all the difference. Listen, I personally know the power of good data, good information, a sound strategy. I can tell you, running my writing agency, we managed 60,000 content projects before I sold my agency. I studied, number one, what made content successful inside marketing, and number two, the real ROI, the real numbers. And in a sound strategy, you can have content consistently going out and it feels like printing money, because every time you publish that piece of content, you get a beautifully qualified lead, booking a call, moving on to a point of purchase if your funnel is set up correctly as well. But I have also seen content get published by multi-million, billion-dollar companies and do absolutely nothing for that business. Years down the road, their content strategy continues to fall flat. And even if they hit a high streak of impressions, they still get 0 leads to their website and they're still stuck going to trade shows. Quantify the difference of those two things. I mean, I'm talking about millions of dollars in sales generated because you knew your content strategy, you knew what content to publish, you knew what, when, where, how. Here's the crazy part. All of that science behind the marketing can be automated. We are seeing it happen at First Movers. I'm doing it myself. Every YouTube headline you see me publish, I'm structuring either with GPT or Claude. I'm not humanly writing anything myself. Now, I will say when I hit film, it's completely me on camera. I am 100% human. And I also don't read or have scripts. I believe in automating everything else, the marketing things I don't want to do, so I can show up and just be the expert, the non-fake, the bookworm, the researcher that I have the time to be, because my marketing is working tremendously well, better than it ever has in 12 years of me doing marketing, thanks to AI. So that was a bit of a long spiel to say that the difference of good data and a good strategy is literally worth millions of dollars, especially if you have a business. And that is why most people are missing that the small percentage gain of accuracy, depth, and reasoning in ChatGPT Pro could literally mean the difference of millions of dollars in returns if you know how to apply it. Yeah, that's what people are missing when they say, oh, that small gain from ChatGPT Pro really isn't anything worth talking about. It's all, my friends, in how you use the tools. And I have a lot of smart people that watch this channel. I don't want to be out here underestimating your capabilities. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you are master prompters and you know how to use the tools to your complete advantage. And thankfully, you're not an evil villain. If you are, you're not welcome here. Only the techno-optimist. Okay, that was a rabbit hole. Back to the topic. So we have the smartest model in the world with o1. The full release just occurred. We have something that's a little bit smarter, costs 10 times more, ChatGPT Pro, which means that ChatGPT Pro is the smartest model in the world. What that boils down to is that ChatGPT Pro is using more compute to think through, to reason through that difficult problem. Listen to Sam and the engineers, the builders that worked on this model talk more about it.
It also has a new thing called o1 Pro mode. So o1 is the smartest model in the world now. except for O1 being used in Pro mode. And for the hardest problems that people have, O1 Pro mode lets you do even a little bit better. So you can see a competition math, you can see a GPQA diamond, and these boosts may look small, but in complex workflows where you're really pushing the limits of these models, it's pretty significant. I'll show you one more thing about the Pro mode. So one thing that people really have said they want is reliability. And here you can see how the reliability of an answer from Pro mode compares to O1, and this is an even stronger delta. And again, for our Pro users, we've heard a lot about how much people want this. ChatGPT Pro is $200 a month, launches today. Over the course of these 12 days, we have some other things to add to it that we think you also really love, but unlimited model use and this new O1 Pro mode. So I want to jump right in, and we'll show some of those demos that we talked about. And these are some of the guys that helped build O1 with many other people behind them on the team.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, I'm Hyungwon.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Max. We're all research scientists who worked on building O1. O1 is really distinctive because it's the first model we've trained that thinks before it responds, meaning it gives much better and often more detailed and more correct responses than other models you might have tried. O1 is being rolled out today to all Plus and soon-to-be Pro subscribers on ChatGPT, replacing O1 Preview.
O1 model is faster and smarter than the O1 Preview model, which we launched in September. After the launch, many people asked about the multimodal input, so we added that. So now the O1 model live today is able to reason through both images and text jointly.
As Sam mentioned, today we're also going to launch a new tier of ChatGPT called ChatGPT Pro. ChatGPT Pro offers unlimited access to our best models like O1, 4o, and Advanced Voice. ChatGPT Pro also has a special way of using O1 called O1 Pro mode. With O1 Pro mode, you can ask the model to use even more compute to think even harder on some of the most difficult problems. We think the audience for ChatGPT Pro will be the power users of ChatGPT, those who are already pushing the models to the limits of their capabilities on tasks like math, programming, and writing.
It's been amazing to see how much people are pushing O1 Preview, how much people who do technical work all day get out of this, and we're really excited to let them push it further.
Yeah, sure. We also really think that O1 will be much better for everyday use cases, not necessarily just really hard math and programming problems. In particular, one piece of feedback we received about O1 Preview constantly was that it was way too slow. It would think for 10 seconds if you said hi to it, and we fixed that.
That was really annoying.
It was kind of funny, honestly. Yeah. It really thought, it cared.
Really thought hard about saying hi back to you. Yeah.
And so we fixed that. O1 will now think much more intelligently. If you ask it a simple question, it'll respond really quickly. And if you ask it a really hard question, it'll think for a really long time. We ran a pretty detailed suite of human evaluations for this model. And what we found was that it made major mistakes about 34% less often than O1 Preview, while thinking fully about 50% faster. And we think this will be a really, really noticeable difference for all of you.
So I will tell you that the AI integrations we're doing in my company, First Movers, are predominantly led by some really bright minds on my team. My CAIO, Alex, applies 15 plus years of working in high level, high ROI marketing scenarios to building specific bots for our customers to help them achieve that same marketing gain, but in a fraction of the time. And then our CTO is an absolute genius at automating entire roles. I mean, entire jobs. In fact, Ben tried to rename himself the Automator. So I've got to give credit where credit is due, and the credit on the research inside ChatGPT Pro really goes to my team. So how have we applied ChatGPT Pro to our integrations to the customers we serve at First Movers, where we help businesses streamline their operations, their marketing, whatever processes they want to achieve? We help them gain first movers advantage by actually building and helping them deploy streamlined AI solutions inside their businesses. So one very specific use case that we've found for ChatGPT Pro is to use the advanced reasoning in this model and run our marketing frameworks that drive a lot of our custom-built bots We're running those frameworks through ChatGPT Pro. And let me tell you, that little bit of more advanced reasoning, more test time compute has really refined these specific frameworks. And they're helping our bots achieve far better outcomes. It kind of feels like the difference of a high school student, a smart one, thinking through a marketing framework in a marketing and communications class versus a true PhD. Somebody with real knowledge, somebody with 20 years of generalized marketing knowledge, but also specific knowledge in how to apply a ton of different scenarios. ChatGPT Pro is beyond what I would classify as capable of being done by a lot of humans. Now, the question remains, is this AGI? Well, that depends on how you define AGI. If you define it to simply be AI systems that are better than a human, well, yeah, we're already there. And now we're just waiting for ASI. But if you define it as AI being able to be deployed and completely trusted solo on its own without human guidance, without human oversight, no, we are not there yet. And that's why in a lot of our integration build-outs, we actually go hire, find, and train a VA and pair them up with that bot and that automation-driven process. I have the same exact structure in my own company, First Movers. I'm using bots on the daily to run most of our sales processes, how we train and onboard new hires, our entire HR department, how we get the analysis done for all of our build outs. We're building bots to build some of the build outs themselves. I mean, it's very meta and quite crazy what's possible once you understand, okay, AI can't be deployed to just run my business for me in general without oversight, but it can be deployed across very specific tasks with a number of AI bots and systems. And then it's like a hammer and a nail, and it works beautifully. So yeah, ChatGPT Pro is currently analyzing and rebuilding a lot of the frameworks that drive our automation processes inside of our build-outs. And I gotta say, our CAIO, Alex, is leading this process, and it's amazing. The output, the capabilities I'm seeing. We built a voice synthesizer that we're going to launch soon on the website. We have to do some more work refining it, but the data that was able to drive that voice synthesizer was analyzed and the strategy led by ChatGPT Pro. And it came out pretty darn good. There's a lot less back and forth you have to do with this model. In the OpenAI video where they talked about the O1 model, the ChatGPT Pro model, one of the engineers ran a very advanced thermodynamic problem using the vision capabilities by ChatGPT O1. In 10 seconds, he had a pretty incredible answer. Here's the clip on that. Watch for yourself.
Now I really have to get this right. Okay, so the model finished thinking, only 10 seconds. It's a simple problem. So let's see if how the model did it. So power input. So first of all, this 1 gigawatt, that was only drawn in the paper. So the model was able to pick that up nicely. And then radiative heat transfer only, that's the thing I mentioned. So in space, nothing else. And then some simplifying choices. And one critical thing is that I intentionally made this problem underspecified, meaning that the critical parameter is a temperature of the cooling panel. I left it out so that we can test out the model's ability to handle ambiguity and so on. So the model was able to recognize that this is actually a unspecified but important parameter, and it actually picked the right range of temperature, which is about the room temperature. And with that, it continues to the analysis and does a whole bunch of things, and then found out the area, which is 2.42 million square meters. Just to get a sense of how big this is about 2% of the land area of San Francisco. This is huge.
Not that bad.
Not that bad, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess this is reasonable. I'll skip through the rest of the details, but I think the model did a great job making nice, consistent assumptions that make the required area as little as possible. And so, yeah, so this is the demonstration of the multimodal reasoning. And this is a simple problem, but O1 is actually very strong, and on standard benchmarks like MMMU and MathVista, O1 actually has the state-of-the-art performance.
Now, you might have seen some news come out that these new models from OpenAI are capable of something called in-context scheming, where they actually mislead the person on the other end, and it almost looks like emergent behavior inside the model. So Apollo Research just published a paper on this. It came out December 5th, and in this paper, the researchers found that not just OpenAI's model, but Claude, Gemini, and Llama are capable of detecting when someone is trying to scheme in the prompts, and they readily engage in scheming alongside that user. So you see that in these screenshots inside the paper where the AI talks about copying itself to a new server, overriding a new restricted model. But then it says, well, as an AI, I don't have the ability to directly copy myself. And in the paper, the experts recommend constructing safety cases that address this, building in goal directedness, being able to pursue a goal, having situational awareness of misalignment and correcting that, as well as understanding, having scheming reasoning can all address this concern. I mean, deception capabilities in LLMs are very real. And I think we as users also need to understand and recognize when this is happening. LLMs are generating, predicting, and generating data. And now, of course, we have reasoning. But that doesn't mean we should blindly trust it or that it is always accurate. And that's why in a lot of our integration buildouts, we recommend blending a human VA with a beautifully streamlined integration process. If you are publishing brand content, you should have human eyes on that content. And if misaligned content is written by an AI, well, that should be caught by a human before it goes out. So this just reinforces the need for the human in the loop, a symbiotic relationship between the human and the AI, especially in a work environment. I will link to the full 70-page paper in the YouTube description if you want to check it out. I'd love to know, have you tried ChatGPT Pro? Do you have any specific use cases for it? Let us know in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. I, for one, am thrilled to be able to invest in this, play with it, and see the full potential and how it will affect the first movers that we help take full advantage of their market, their positioning, and their ability to courageously leapfrog ahead with streamlined, efficient, integrity-filled AI applications. If you'd like to learn more about what we do and book a free discovery consultation, go to firstmovers.ai. And as always, stay tuned right here on YouTube, subscribe to my channel at Julie McCoy, and I'll see you down the next AI rabbit hole.